Good morning. Today, something really exciting. If you look on your screens now, this is what I'm going to show you how to build. It's a directory or listings website using advanced custom fields, custom post types, and Gutenberg full site editing, and no coding and no page builders. Let's get into it. Right, there's a few things we're going to need to get this to work. So you're going to need a full site editing theme. I will put a link in the description of some really great full site editing themes that you can use. For now, you're going to need the Gutenberg plugin installed. Come December, this will be integrated into WordPress, so you won't need that, but for now you need Gutenberg. You're going to need a copy of the Advanced Custom Fields plugin. Again, that's a free plugin. I will put a link in the description. You're going to need a plugin called Custom Post Type UI. And then finally, for now, you're going to need the Stackable Pro plugin. We're only using Stackable Pro, not for any of its blocks, but just for this one really cool bit of functionality, which lets us bring in dynamic content when we're creating our layouts. So that's what you're going to need. So there are just 3 simple and easy steps to follow. So do not panic. It's very straightforward, nothing technical to worry about. The steps are create custom post types. We're going to create one custom post type using the Custom Post Type UI plugin. Incredibly simple to do. Step 2, we're going to create 2 custom fields. So in our film examples, we've got 2 custom fields, which is our movie date, and the film director. We're going to be using Advanced Custom Fields plugin for that. And then step 3, things get really exciting. We're going to use Gutenberg full site editing to create 2 completely unique layouts using Gutenberg blocks. We have a listings page for our film listings, and we have the individual film review page itself. Right, let's start. Right, step 1 is pretty straightforward. We're going to use the Custom Post Type UI plugin to create a brand new post type, and that is going to appear in this left-hand menu. So you just go to, you'll see in the menu on the left here, CPT UI, go there, you pop in your post type slug. So I'm going to call this films. That's my slug. And you give it a plural label. So films down here. Now obviously you put your own things in here, and my singular one is film there. You've also got this option here to auto-populate labels. So I'll just click on that. And can you see down here, it's going to auto-populate all these other things, which are things like when you add a new one of these, what to call it. So it's just saving you a bunch of time. And that's pretty much it. You just fill out these fields, add the post type here, and you'll see immediately, like magic, over in the left-hand menu, we've got a brand new option over here that says My Films. On to step 2, which again is very simple. We're going to use the ACF or Advanced Custom Fields plugin for this bit. And again, this is a mighty plugin which does loads. So you can check out other tutorials if you really want to dive into it. I'm going to show you the basics today. So we're going to create 2 new fields, one called Movie Director, one called Movie Date. These are special fields that we're going to insert in special places within our post layouts. So to add your new custom fields, you just click up here next to field groups, add new. That's going to launch this screen here. So the first thing is to give it a title. So I'm going to call it film. Now nobody's going to see what you put in here. This is just for your reference. And then down here, the first thing we're going to say is where do we want this these fields to show? And this is why we created the custom post type in the first place, because we can say, right, I only want to show these custom fields, which I haven't created yet, but I'm about to, on the post type film. So they'll only show on that particular film, on that particular post type. Then up here, this is where we add our fields. So you just click on add field. This is your field label. So I'm going to call this movie date. Okay. And it's going to auto populate all these other fields down here for you. Now there's tons of stuff you can do with this. I'm really skimming over it because it's pretty straightforward actually. There's the first one. Can you see down here? And then I can add another one. So let's add another one. This is my second one, and let's call this Movie Director. Now, obviously, you can add, with ACF, you can add different types of fields. I'm just adding text fields in here today, but you've got all these other choices to add different types of fields into your content. I'm keeping it really straightforward. And that's it, essentially. That's all I really need to do. And then I'm just going to publish that. And now those fields should be available to me. Here they go. And you can change the order of these as well. These fields should be available for me. If I go to films and add new, we should see now at the bottom here, can you see we've got movie date and movie director. So that's step 2 done. Let's move on to step 3, which is creating these 2 different layouts, the listings page and the individual film review page. Just so I've got some content to play with before I move on to step 3, I'm just going to create some posts. I'm going to speed through this, so I'll work really quickly. I'm creating some film posts though. Right, now for the really exciting bit, especially if you've been using other tools to do this in the past or hand coding this. Now we can use Gutenberg full site editing to create custom layouts for both our listings page and our individual post page. So there's just a few simple steps to get this to work. The first, we have to create 2 new templates. So there's a few ways to do this, but I found at the moment the easiest way is to go to Appearance and Templates. And this is where we basically create our 2 new templates. You can do this in another place, but this seems a bit more reliable at the moment. I'm sure this will change. So I'm going to call this film listings page, listings template. And again, we're just going to publish these. This is just creating them essentially. Now you used to have to code this stuff, so it's really cool. And the next one is, let's call this individual, if I could spell, film review. Come on, here we go. Individual film review. Now the reason we do that is because when now we go to the site editor, and which again, if you want to get more into the site editor, I've done a full tutorial, which I'll put a link up above, which talks you through all about how it works. But essentially we need to go here, and then you need to come down here to general templates. Now just to recap, I'm using the 2022 theme, which is going to be profoundly good. And you'll see my new templates are here. So now we can actually dig into each one of these and reconstruct them. So the first one I want to create is the film listings template. And this is what we'll see. It's completely empty. So we basically need to rebuild this page. You'll see it also doesn't have a header. So what you can actually do, which is what I did on the other side, is have a custom header if you want to just on this page. But I'm just going to show you how you bring in your films to this page. So the secret sauce here is we're going to use the query loop block to do this. If you want to get more details on the query loop block, I will put a link up above, I think. I'll try to, because I've done a full tutorial just on that. So here it is, the query loop block. It's just a block that comes with WordPress. If you see it here, it'll give you some previews here of sort of some pre-built ones, or you can add it and then choose them. So let me choose this grid here, because that's kind of the easiest way to show you this. And that's going to be bring in a grid. Now initially it's going to bring in a grid of all your posts, but can you see over on the right we've got this post type, and here we can actually change that to film. As soon as you do that, it's going to bring your films in. Super cool. So hopefully you can see now we're starting to rebuild this listings page just using blocks. And if I click on the list view, which I've just done, can you see here we've got the query loop block, we've got the post template, which is like a container block. It brings in certain blocks automatically. Then we've got the post title, which is our film title, a post excerpt, and our post date. But if I don't want the post date, I can just click on it and delete it. Okay, if I want the featured image in here, I can just click on this little plus sign, search for featured image, because we do want the featured image on this one, and select post featured image, and the post featured image is now going to drop in there. Get it? It's really cool, right? Or I can bring the post content in, or some read more text. Okay, and that will link automatically to the individual post itself. Right, there's 2 other cool bits of things that I need to show you on this page, and this is where we look at stackable and this ability to have dynamic content, and comes back to why we used advanced custom fields in the first place. What I would like just below my my picture is the movie date and the movie director. So this is how you do it. So I'm going to add a block, and I'm just going to use the paragraph block for this, and I'm going to type movie date : and I'm going to go XXX. Now if I highlight the XXX, can you see this little icon up here? This is stackable. This is so cool. This is our dynamic fields. Now at the moment they're built into stackable. I think it would be cool if somebody built just a standalone dynamic content plugin, but that's for another day. If I click on that, that's going to open up this little box here. This lets me bring in dynamic fields that I've actually entered into this post. Let me scroll up a bit, and if you scroll down here, you've got things like post title, post URL, all sorts of stuff down here. But if I keep on going, or if I search for movie, can you see I've got these 2 fields which are being pulled automatically from ACF, from Advanced Custom Fields. So this is the movie date, so I just want to pull the movie date in, click apply, and that's going to dynamically grab that data in, and you'll see in a minute pull that next to the movie date. Can you see how it's also added it into these other ones as well, which is another great feature of the query block. It'll add them automatically for you. The other one we want is the movie director. So paragraph block again. You could add these as headings or different types of formatting. I'm happy with the paragraph block. Movie director colon XXX. The XXX is just so I can highlight some text. Dynamic again, dynamic icon. And search for movie in the field. And there is down here, if I can scroll up a bit, movie director. Same deal, click apply. So now we've got some dynamic content coming into that template. Now again, I could, because I'm using Gutenberg, I could lay this out however I like and spend hours and hours on it. I could change how many columns I have, I could put a background color, I could do anything I like. In the old days, you'd have to use, a page builder, or you'd have to hand code this stuff. But now with full site editing, you'll see you can build all these archive pages and individual pages just with blocks. Right, so that's how I've created the listings page. Let me show you how I actually use it on the site. Here's how you show that listings page actually on your website. So all we've done so far is created a template that's been populated by a custom post type and some advanced custom fields. But hopefully you agree it's pretty simple. This is really simple. You just click add new page. You give it a title, should it ever load. Come on, here we go, film listings. And then all you do over here in the template section on the right, you'll see we've got a brand new template. We've got a few brand new templates, but we want the film listings template. That means that page is now going to automatically pull in that template to use on that page. And if I go view page, ta-da, there's my new template. You see how we don't have a header, but we've got our content coming in. We've got our advanced custom fields coming, which is really cool. Right, the final step is to create the template for our individual film. This is very straightforward. Again, we're going to use the site editor and Gutenberg blocks to do it. So we go site editor, and then we need to go to templates, general. There's our individual film review template. We've already done the film listings one. Click on individual film review, and again, it will start blank. So we've got no header, we've got nothing on it. Again, we're going to use the query loop to basically rebuild this page. So we're going to select query loop. And can you see down here, it's actually giving us some layouts. I'm pretty happy with that layout there. Now I could just add the query loop here, and then you can see you can carousel through them and choose the layout you want. So there's a number of ways you can get to this. I think this probably will be improved slightly as this gets developed, because it's still a little bit confusing. That's the kind of layout I want. I'm going to click choose. Now at the moment, as you can tell, it's bringing in my posts. So over here on the right, I just need to select film. That's going to bring my films into this. There's Jaws. There's two other things we need to do. We need to add that custom field information again. So I'm going to add the paragraph block, and I'm going to start with, let's start with movie date. That's my text. That's going to go before the day. Stop typing. And then XXX. And then I'm going to use my stackable dynamic fields generator. And I'm going to go, right, let's bring in the movie date. Simple as that. Okay, and apply it. That'll automatically bring in the date just for that movie. And underneath there, we're going to have movie director. Okay, and I'll do the same thing. Use my dynamic content here to bring in the director. Okay. We want to get rid of the read more text. In fact, we don't have read more text. So that's fine. The other thing actually we want to do here is get rid of this. You'll see if I go here. We don't want the post excerpt on this, actually. That's a good point. We want to show the full content. So under here, let's just put post content. We want the full content of that post, and that's going to bring that in there. Right, there's one other really critical thing we need to do here, and that is when we've got this query loop selected, you need to click Inherit Query from Template. That means it's going to use that query for the particular post that we're working on. Actually, I do want to make one little change before we actually use this, and that I quite like the text to be on the left. So again, with Gutenberg, you can just flip these columns around if you want to. For me, it just makes a bit more sense. If you want to change the size of the image now, you can change the height and the width over here, so you can play with that to your heart's content. Right, you'll see when we actually go and look at any of these films that they're still not quite right, because they're still using the old template essentially. So if I dive into Gandhi here, so when you create these film posts, you just need to select over here on the right individual film review, and that means that's going to pull that template in automatically for that particular film. So there we go. I hope you found that useful. If you did, it would be amazing if you can give it a thumbs up, because it really helps spread the word about this channel. And if you want to see more Gutenberg tutorials, hit the subscribe button. And thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.